What's up? I'm AJ and welcome back to Gen Z Garage. In today's episode, we're going to be upgrading all of the engine accessories and we're going to be converting the engine into a Serpentine belt system. So let's get started.
If you've been following along on my progress, you know I've recently rebuilt my motor, mated it to the transmission, installed it on the subframe, and began reattaching the components. I'm continuing my progress this week by installing everything else onto the engine in preparation for reinstallation into the Fiero. While I have the motor out, I want to upgrade every single thing I can, as I explained in one of my early disassembly videos. I'll post the link to that up at the top of the screen. The 4-cylinder Fiero went through a lot of upgrades over the years, and while I can't include all of them, I want to take the opportunity to upgrade as much as possible with an emphasis on reliability and efficiency. I'll even include some newer items never previously included in a Fiero. If you remember in the previous video, we began by replacing the original crank pulley with a 6-groove Serpentine pulley. Specifically, we are upgrading to the very rare Serpentine crank pulley with an integrated harmonic balancer from a later year Grand Am. These are almost impossible to find, but well worth the effort if you can find one, and are an immediate upgrade to any 87 to 88 Fiero 4-cylinders. Harmonic balancers absorb and remove unwanted vibration from the crankshaft. They not only extend the life of the crank and the rod bearings, but also improve the efficiency of the motor. With the crank pulley installed, we move on to our first accessory by installing a brand new alternator. This alternator is of course an upgrade from the original Delco SI version of alternator, which we replaced with the CS130 alternator. If you are using the original alternator brackets from an 84 to 86 Fiero 4-cylinder and you want to upgrade to a CS130 alternator, you must order an alternator meant for a 1988 V6. It cannot be from an 87 to 88 4-cylinder or it will not fit. The CS130 alternator weighs 2 pounds less than the SI alternator, at 10.5 pounds compared to 12.5 pounds, with a lighter rotating mass. The CS130 not only weighs less, but reduces drag on the engine while producing a higher amperage. 105 amps by default compared to the 72 or 94 from stock. Be sure to reinstall the lower alternator bolt with the nut facing the outside of the motor. When installed in the car, the bolt will hit the firewall and you will not be able to remove it. In order to use this newer alternator, you also need to purchase the adapter harness, which you can get for under $20 from Rodney Dickman online. Finally, another added benefit to a CS130 alternator is that you can also install a decoupler or overdrive pulley, which reduces vibration and stress on the belt and accessories, further improving the efficiency of the motor. The decoupler pulley is about 1 pound heavier than the factory alternator pulley. With the alternator installed, I move on to the AC compressor. I start by bolting the compressor to the bracket which I installed in the previous video. I'm upgrading my original V-belt driven DA6 compressor to a brand new V5 Serpentine driven compressor. The original 84 model Fiero often came with an all-steel DA6 compressor that could weigh upwards of 20 pounds. Most Fieros received the aluminum 14-pound DA6 compressor, which was often replaced with the nearly identical HR6 compressor, which was slightly improved design over the DA6. The V5 compressor, however, which was first offered in the 1986 model year for the 4-cylinder, weighs in at only 8 pounds. In addition to the significant weight saving for the compressor, the V5 compressor I'm using will share the same belt as the rest of the accessories, so you can also eliminate the unnecessary adjustment bracketry, which is 5 pounds compared to 2.5 pounds for the 87 to 88 brackets. Finally, the V5 compressor is significantly more efficient than the older compressors, which uses a feature called variable displacement. This means that the compressor continuously adjusts to reduce as much as possible parasitic drag on the crank and accessory system, thereby freeing up more horsepower under normal driving conditions. Next, we move on to the starter. This is yet again another component that is easily upgradable. GM significantly improved their starter technology over the next decade, and the original starter can be replaced with one that's nearly half the size. The original starter weighed in at 13.5 pounds, while my replacement starter weighs only 6.5 pounds. That's a savings of another 7 pounds from the engine compartment. The starter I went with came from a 2004 Pontiac Grand Am GT with a 3.4 V6 60. This starter needs nothing and literally just bolts in place of the original. Just look at that size comparison. I move back to the front of the engine and install a restored water pump pulley. There's nothing really here that's upgradable. All the water pumps were the same for all years, but I install a 6-groove Serpentine pulley from an '87 Fiero. Next, I start reinstalling the sensors, starting with the oil pressure sending unit. I first removed the threaded plug that I installed when I was painting the motor and reinstalled the original oil pressure sending unit. These are rather expensive, and since the one already on the car worked, I merely cleaned it up and reinstalled it. Next, I installed the temperature sending unit. The Fiero has a total of 3 temperature-related sensors. This sensor that I'm installing now directly feeds temperature information to the Fiero's ECM. The next temperature sensor I install is the coolant fan switch. This is a thermostatically controlled sensor which turns on the radiator fan when it reaches 235 degrees. If this seems a little high to you, you can replace it with a lower temperature fan switch from Rodney Dickman. I actually installed this on top of the cylinder head, though it normally installs in the back of the engine. Finally, at the rear engine, I installed a temperature gauge sending unit. This sensor directly powers the temperature gauge on the dashboard and does nothing other than tell you what the engine temperature is and power the warning indicator light. For all of these sensors, I used PTFE sealer on the threads to prevent leaks. With the sensors installed, I then installed the distributor that you saw me rebuild in the previous video. I add a little bit of assembly lube to the gear and reinstall it into the engine. Then I properly reinstall the hold-down bracket. Next, I move on to the intake manifold and install my newly rebuilt throttle body injection unit, or TBI for short. I show you how I rebuild this TBI in my next video. It attaches with 1 nut and 2 bolts. It's interesting to note that this TBI unit was not just used on the Fiero, but also used on GM's Crossfire injection V8 motor. While the Fiero's 2.5 engine from 84 to 86 got one of these TBI units, the Corvette from 1981 through the 1984 model years got 2 of these. They were also used on the 1982 and 1983 Camaro and Firebirds with Crossfire injection. There were several upgrades that were made available over the years, including a complete Holley kit that included a large bore TBI unit that could either be installed on the GM factory intake or installed on the much freer flowing Holley intake. There was even a high performance air cleaner. All of that said, I opted to go with rebuilding a factory one. My rebuild is almost entirely stock, and I would see little to no benefit with the Holley. With that installed, I move back around to the exhaust side of the engine and I install my new Bosch oxygen sensor. I use a little bit of anti-seize lubricant and screw it in. It's worth mentioning that this is a standard 1-wire oxygen sensor, which is what the car was designed for. They sell aftermarket kits that allow you to upgrade to a 4-wire heated oxygen sensor. The benefit of a heated oxygen sensor is typically to speed up the ability for the oxygen sensor to heat up and thus begin providing AFR readings. In this case, however, the Fiero's oxygen sensor is installed directly in the exhaust manifold, so there's almost no real benefit to upgrading to the heated sensor. Keep in mind that while most parts can be bought new, you will have to recondition and reuse a lot of parts, such as the brackets, linkage, and even some of the older rubber parts like the PCV hose that connect the valve cover to the throttle body. Now that everything is pieced back together, I focus on the wiring harness. I start by resting the harness on the engine stand in the direction from where the harness would come out of the firewall. It helps to start from here to ensure you account for the distance from the firewall and don't come up short after you've already connected everything else. I move around the car, connecting the various components and feeding the wires through the respective clips and brackets. We completely unraveled the wiring harness and replaced any clips that were broken and repaired any wires that were frayed. I decided to keep the harness going through the factory location, every wire except the AC compressor harness. This harness normally runs along the front of the motor by the accessory belt. Instead, I routed it behind the exhaust manifold shielding inside of a reflective cable heat shielding sleeve. This gives a much cleaner look. Finally, with everything else done, I replaced the spark plugs one by one with brand new pre-gapped Platinum Champion spark plugs. I also install a set of NGK 7mm core spark plug wires, which are perfect for this engine and configuration. You'll notice that I use a set of spark plug insulator boots to help eliminate arcing and reduce the heat from the cylinder head and exhaust manifold on the plug wires. All of the wires are routed to brand new wire clips that attach to the side of the Iron Duke valve covers. And with that, the engine is finished.
I love you, engine. You're so amazing and incredible, and you weigh significantly less now that we got all the gunk off of you. You're so much better than boys. You're amazing. The engine is going to be ready to go back in the car, which is crazy because I've been working on this and I am very excited for that. So if you are also excited, make sure to like and subscribe so you can see that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.